You are not witnessing anger. You are witnessing a message that was never spoken. The image you are looking at is called Anger Transference. It was drawn in 1954 by Richard Sargent. 4 frames, no dialogue, no blood, no violence that looks dramatic, and yet everything hurts. A man stands before his superior. He does not shout. He does not fight back. He absorbs the humiliation in silence. In the next frame, he is home. The same tension now lives in his body. It has nowhere to go, so it moves. His voice hardens. His words sharpen. His wife becomes the nearest target. The wife does not ask where the anger came from. She does not need to. She only knows how it feels. In the next frame, she turns to the child. Small mistakes become unbearable. A raised voice becomes discipline. Control disguises itself as care. And finally, the child. Too small to understand, too powerless to resist. The anger has traveled far now, from authority to intimacy, from strength to weakness. With nowhere else to go, the child screams at the cat, the smallest, the safest, the one who cannot retaliate. 4 frames, 1 complete cycle. Anger does not disappear, it only changes hands. This is not a story about cruelty. It is a story about unprocessed pain. And this pattern does not live inside a drawing. It lives inside families, workplaces, relationships, entire societies. Every day, we often believe that anger is spontaneous, that it suddenly appears. But anger is rarely born in the moment. It is carried. It is accumulated in silence, stored in the body, pressed down by obligation, fear, hierarchy, and survival. And when it finally moves, it rarely moves upward. It moves downward, from those who cannot fight back to those who never chose to be involved. This is why the most dangerous anger is not loud rage. It is the quiet kind that has learned to wait. Psychologists call this phenomenon displaced aggression. In everyday language, it is known as the kick the cat effect. You are hurt by someone stronger than you. You cannot respond. So you unload the pain onto someone weaker. They, in turn, do the same, not because they are evil, but because pain demands movement. Pain that cannot be expressed will be transferred. This is how suffering becomes contagious, and the tragedy is not just the damage it causes, but how normal it looks. A boss calls it pressure, a parent calls it discipline, a partner calls it honesty, a society calls it toughening you up. And slowly, everyone forgets where the pain began. In the television series Friends, Rachel often speaks about her father. She resents his strictness, his emotional distance, his need to control. She believes she has outgrown it, but when she teaches Joey how to sail, she becomes harsh, impatient, demanding. She raises her voice. She humiliates him. Only when her friends point it out does she freeze, because suddenly she sees it. She is not acting freely. She is reenacting something old. This moment is uncomfortable, not because she did something wrong, but because she recognizes herself in the very behavior she once rejected. This is the quiet horror of unhealed pain. We do not consciously choose to repeat it. We inherit it. In real life, the same pattern repeats endlessly. Children swear they will never become like their parents. They promise themselves they will be different, kinder, gentler, more understanding, and many of them truly mean it. But intention is not enough when the body remembers something the mind has never processed. Years later, they hear their own voice rise. They feel their jaw tighten. They watch themselves react in ways that feel familiar, not chosen, not planned, just activate. They become the shape of something unresolved. This is why saying "I would never do that" is not protection. Awareness is. The truth is uncomfortable. We do not pass down trauma through words. We pass it down through nervous systems, through tone, through silence, through what is never explained, through what children learn to expect. pain teaches patterns, and patterns repeat until something interrupts them. To understand why pain travels this way, we must look beneath behavior, because behavior is only the surface. Underneath it lies survival. Sigmund Freud described how the human mind develops defense mechanisms. These are unconscious strategies designed to protect us from anxiety, shame, fear, and emotional collapse. They are not flaws, they are emergency systems. One of the most common is projection. When a feeling is too painful to accept as our own, we unconsciously assign it to someone else. Guilt becomes accusation, fear becomes control, insecurity becomes criticism. The mind does this not to harm others, but to keep itself from breaking. A person who was betrayed may become hypervigilant. They monitor, they question, they suspect. Not because their partner is dangerous, but because trust once destroyed their sense of safety. They are not responding to the present. They are reacting to a memory. And memories, when unhealed, do not stay in the past. They wait. Judith Herman, in Trauma and Recovery, explains that trauma is not defined by the event itself, but by what happens after. If pain is acknowledged, supported, and integrated, it can soften. If it is denied, minimized, or silenced, it becomes frozen. And frozen trauma does not dissolve with time. It mutates. It appears as overreaction, as numbness, as rage that seems disproportionate, as a sudden loss of control. This is why people often say, "I don't know why I reacted that way." They are telling the truth. In those moments, the rational brain is offline. The body is responding to a threat that is no longer there. This is how trauma hijacks the present, and this is how victims, without intention, become sources of new harm. One of the clearest examples of this cycle is domestic violence. Many adults who become abusive were once abused themselves. As children, they learned that power comes with fear, that love is conditional, that authority is enforced through pain. As adults, under stress, their nervous system returns to what it knows, not because they believe it is right, but because it feels familiar. In moments of overwhelm, the past takes over the body, and suddenly they are no longer the child. They are the one holding power. This does not excuse the harm, but it explains the mechanism. The most frightening aspect of this process is not cruelty. It is unconsciousness. Many people genuinely believe they are doing what is necessary. They say things like, "This is how I was raised. I turned out fine." Someone has to be strict, but survival is not evidence of health. A person can survive and still carry wounds that distort everything they touch. Trauma does not only come from violence, it also comes from absence, from emotional neglect, from being unseen, from growing up without safety. A child raised in constant criticism learns that love must be earned. A child raised with unpredictable anger learns to scan the environment for danger. A child raised without comfort learns that vulnerability is unsafe. These lessons are not spoken, they are absorbed. And once absorbed, they shape how the world is perceived. Later in life, such individuals may appear defensive, controlling, emotionally distant, not because they lack love, but because love once felt dangerous. Beyond the family, society adds its own wounds. A culture obsessed with achievement teaches people they are only valuable when they succeed. A society obsessed with appearance teaches shame before self-acceptance. Discrimination, ridicule, and exclusion leave marks that do not fade easily. And then there are sudden losses: death, illness, betrayal, disaster. Trauma is not rare. What is rare is having a place to process it. Humans are relational beings. We heal in connection. Pain needs a witness. When emotions are repeatedly dismissed, they do not disappear, they accumulate, and eventually they demand expression, often in the wrong direction. A child ignored at home may become aggressive at school. A partner unheard in a relationship may lash out in arguments. An employee humiliated at work may take it home. Each believes they are reacting to the present, but the reaction belongs to a larger story. In developmental psychology, this is known as internalization. We do not learn how to relate through logic. We learn by observing what happens around us. A child raised in sarcasm and yelling learns that this is communication. As an adult, they repeat it, not because they enjoy harming others, but because this is the only language they know. Another silent force that amplifies harm is distorted fairness. When pain remains unhealed, happiness in others can feel like injustice. Someone mocks love not because they despise it, but because they once trusted it and were hurt. Cynicism becomes a shield. Sarcasm becomes camouflage. The bitterness we hear often hides longing, a longing that feels too dangerous to express directly. This is how trauma builds a loop. Hurt becomes behavior. Behavior creates new hurt, and the cycle continues across families, across relationships, across generations, until something interrupts it. An interruption does not begin with punishment. It begins with awareness, because pain that is seen loses its need to travel. Pain that is named no longer controls from the shadows. This is where the story pauses, not to offer solutions yet, but to create recognition. Because before healing can begin, one must first see the pattern. And once you see it, you can never unsee it again.